Hello, beautiful people. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am excited. We are here. We're going to talk about the bundle. I have a wonderful guest with me, Dr. Karrie Heneman, if I said that correctly.
Yes,
And
thank you.
yes, and so we're live on all the channels right now, and I want to welcome everybody on the other platforms and welcome Dr. Karrie Heneman. We're both included in the bundle this year, and so we're excited to talk to everyone. I'm excited to talk to you. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, where are you located?
Yeah, so I'm in Arizona. And today it's a little cooler outside than normal, but usually it's very sunny. And what about you?
I'm in Northern California. I'm about 30 miles outside of San Francisco. So we have a sunny day today, but it is a little chilly here as well. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, we lived a lot of our life in Southern California and like 8 months in Northern California. So it's a very different weather, the two parts of the one state, I'll tell you.
it is amazing that we're all one state, but I think if you haven't really driven all of California, you don't realize how long the state is. That it's very different. I grew up in Southern California, so yes, I
Oh.
get it.
So we're like neighbors. So
Exactly.
yeah. Well, I would love for you to share a little bit. I know you have a family, you have a PhD in nutrition, you have all kinds of wonderful things. You have an amazing piece in the bundle that is called Family Meals First. And I have one of your recipes that I made. And so, yeah, please share a little bit more about you and your background, and also why did you decide to enter the bundle?
Yeah, so I guess going way back, I was a swimmer in high school, and I had a coach that would have us eat different foods on before competitions, and I was like truly fascinated how my performance would change based on what I ate the day before.
Oh,
So I just got really excited about nutrition as a field. And ended up at college. And at college, I ended up trying to take as many nutrition courses. It wasn't a major at the time, but nutrition and science and sports medicine type classes, and just kind of piqued my interest more and more with the intention that I would go to medical school at the end of my undergraduate. And lo and behold, I graduated, this is going to date me, but 1999. And nutrition really wasn't part of medicine at that point. So at the
oh,
last minute, I applied to graduate programs and ended up getting into UC Davis. But that summer in between college and graduate school, I spent a summer at the National Cancer Institute
oh,
working as an intern for the 5-a-day program, and I read grants, state grants for ways to increase fruit and vegetable consumption in their population. And I just was fascinated with like what a huge impact even just consuming 5 fruits and vegetables a day can have on your health. And then you start to think about, variety and greater numbers and the long-term impact. And I mean, it just is astounding. So
wow.
went into graduate school with the intention to work with people, and kind of through a convoluted way, I ended up working with food stamps, and my final thesis project was setting up nutrition and garden programs in elementary schools and getting farmers to come in and deliver produce and set up salad bars in the schools, and looking at how that impacted kids' health and well-being and family well-being. And yeah, so I kind of never stopped. And then lo and behold, after doing a postdoc and some other things, I got pregnant and worked for a year. And then as many women who have children know, like there's no right answer. And I discovered that commuting 2 hours and leaving my daughter here while my husband was also commuting 2 hours away was just not sustainable for us. So I ended up staying home for a bit. And after about 10 years, I, just became, I really felt like there was a gap between the fact that we as moms were being told that we needed to make all these nutrition decisions for our kids. You go to the grocery store and you need to buy cereal with DHA in it, or you need to get, broccoli sprout powder in the cereal that they're getting, or your yogurt has to have, be plant-based, right? All of these things. And because I had the academic knowledge, I felt like I knew a lot of answers to these questions, but there were so many other things that I didn't know. And I also was hearing from moms that, if you did have a pediatrician that had nutrition knowledge, which, many of them do, but not all of them do have that training because they have to learn so many other things. In the time that you're seeing a pediatrician, you didn't really have the time to ask those questions. So I started my business, Family Meals First, to try and encourage moms to make family meals and home cooked meals a priority, and also to just kind of answer some of these questions and encourage and support moms not to be afraid to feed their kids, but to just do their best and focus on whole, fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds as much as possible, and encourage them to do that.
Wow, that is absolutely awesome. Your story is really inspiring because I'm thinking back to those years that you were talking about. I had kids really young. I have 3 grown children and 4 grandbabies. And, around the 90s, I mean, my kids were born, my oldest 89, she was born in 89, and then 2 others in early 90s. And I don't even think I even knew the questions to ask, let alone you're out there you already have the knowledge, right? And you're trying to implement it. So that is fantastic.
Thank you.
And good for you. And I'm so proud because you had a way, a part in paving the way, really. And I think I commend you, and I have gratitude for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so even your book that's in here, Family Matters First, it is for kids and families, but it's also for anyone. I mean, I was looking through it and I was thinking, oh, I like this. I would want to try. I mean, there were so many I wanted to try. I was like, I want to try this and that and this and that. And even then thinking about when my grandbabies are over, oh, this would be fun to do with them, or, so there's a lot of different areas, I think, where people are in their family. And I think even though you're focusing on family meals first for families, I think it would apply to anyone, really.
100%. I think I kind of take the family approach, but a family can look so many different ways, right?
Yes.
That it can be a family of neighbors, it can be a family of friends, of peers, there's so many different ways, but I think it's just the idea of coming around a table, sharing a meal together, and sharing a meal that is made from wholesome fruits and vegetables. And I am not a trained chef. When I was newly married, I was making things with crescent rolls and just sticking anything inside to make it come together.
We're all there.
I've come a long way, and I have 4. My kiddos are 17, 15, 13, and 9, and they all have very diverse palates. My husband grew up in northern Minnesota. I grew up in Southern California. So we kind of run the gamut in flavor profiles and preferences. But these are all kind of like simple, easy recipes that still hold true to the oil-free, plant-based theme. And I will tell you, over the years, I have definitely had some fails, and these are the winners. So I've done all the work up front.
Nice.
But that's what really drew me to this bundle, is I love the fact that there are so many of these experts out there, and we all come from different arenas, right? There's doctors, there's chefs, there's home cooks, there are nutrition experts, there are meditation experts and yoga experts, and everybody is interested in getting people to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables. And I think that is so cool that no matter what angle you come from, all of your questions are answered there, right? Like, could you imagine going to take your car in and having all of these different people that you could kind of choose from and be like, oh, like this man is explaining it to me more clearly. I'm going to choose, but we just have to go to any mechanic, and whether or not we understand what they're saying or whatever, or whether or not we think we know what's going on, right? Like, this bundle really provides answers for, I feel like, any type of person, no matter where they're coming from, no matter where they're starting, right? Because I think that, it's not an all or a nothing, and it's not vegan is the only way and it has to be that way right now. I think this is a really great start for wherever you are in your journey. If you're already vegan and you're just looking to increase maybe your nutrient density or your variety, there's great resources there. If you're only eating 1 fruit a day, there are great resources there for you as well. So everyone can benefit.
Absolutely. And I just want to take a minute and just say hello to people that are in the chat that are live. We have Marley and Jill Caperton and Everybody's saying hello.
Hello.
Bernadette Shute is saying, enjoying seeing all the content creators sharing videos about the bundle. Marley says hello. Mona says hello to everyone. So we've got people watching us, and we have people talking about your interest. Wow, Marley says, wow, what a great career, right?
Thank you.
And, you know, so I just want to let you know that we do have people chatting in there. And I do want to take just a second to talk about the bundle. I mean, if you've been following us and different people, you'll know. But if you don't know what we're talking about, I just want to take a minute just to let you know that the bundle, this is my first year
Mine
in the
too.
bundle.
That's so fun.
Oh, we both, it's our first year. Okay, so did you buy it before? Just because I bought it before. Oh, you did?
I bought it last year from Sarah Tercero, that who is the something food guru. I'm blanking on it. Better Food Guru. Yes.
Oh, Better Food Guru. Okay, so I'm not remembering that one, but there's so many amazing ones. So basically, what the bundle is, just a quick recap if you don't know, it's where a bunch of different people come in and they contribute their books, their knowledge, their classes, their video series, things about blood pressure. There's a doctor, there's yoga, there's meditation, there's recipes. It goes on and on and on. And if you sold all of those books separately, then that would be the retail. So the retail is over $5,000, like $400, but what's in each one is amazing. It could be hundreds of pages or 3 pages or videos. And so for just this time between March 1st, which it's not anymore, and the 10th, so up until March 10th of 2025, we are offering everything in the bundle for $49. And you get it in an email, you download it. It's not a hard book of any sort. You download these books and you can store them anywhere you want on your computer or hard drive or wherever. And then once you download them, each one individually, you have access forever or as long as you want, right? And we both have links. I would like you to share where your links would be because I want people to know where we could find it. And I have my links in my bio, and where can people find it if they want to go to your pages?
So I'm on Instagram at Family Meals First, and the Vegan Health Bundle is also currently the only link in my bio. So if you just head over there, and please come to Family Meals First. It's a great community. It's a great discussion. I'm constantly sharing nutrition facts and information about eating more plants. So yeah, I love building the community. I love connecting, and I just love chatting about fresh fruits and vegetables and encouraging others to eat more produce.
Yeah. And I just want to take a minute and show these are, I'm not giving away any secrets, because you want to get the bundle to see everything and all the details in the recipes, but these are a few of the ingredients. I've got walnuts, some kale, and some mango. And I made your monster smoothie, which has more stuff than that in it. And it is so good. I did have a little sip, but I want to have one now.
It is a hit. I will be honest. It took a long time for me to get my kids to eat kale, and this has always been the winner. I just, and if you are new to making smoothies, I would suggest that you go light on the greens at first because they can be kind of off-putting. But the secret is you start small with like half a cup, and then you just slowly increase it, and you would be amazed at how much in the smoothie form you can get yourself or your kids or your family to drink more greens. And that's a win for everybody.
Yeah, and the combination, I mean, there's lots of different flavors going on here, but the combination of the mango and the kale, it's got a very unique, very sweet, fruity, delicious. I mean, I'm really enjoying this. And the color, like I personally, I can put some greens in my smoothie because I'm used to it. And so the lighter colors, like I know my grandbabies would drink this in a heartbeat, or anyone that is new to these types of, dark greens, because they're not sweet. And with the standard American diet, there's a lot of sugar and added, sweeteners and things that will change your taste buds. So, going to something like this is different, right? But it's actually what we were designed to do. So I love this. I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you. And I think that's kind of a fun story. When my kids were little, I don't do it as much now because they're getting older, but I love to take them to the produce aisle and let them pick a fresh fruit or vegetable. And mango isn't something that I grew up eating, even though I grew up in Southern California. And my husband's from northern Minnesota, so he had never really seen a mango before. And we as a family now love it. And we found it because one of my kids picked it up in the produce aisle and wanted to try it. And now I feel like I'm always cutting up mango. I can't cut up
Yeah. Well, you can also buy it. Well, there's different varieties, but you can also buy it in the freezer section. I do at my local Costco.
I do as well. And it lasts for months. And so then, I feel like in the winter, we don't eat as many smoothies. So I can, keep whatever's left over there. And then when we're ready, it's so great to have in your freezer just for quick nutrient boost.
And it's fun to have the kids, when they're little, help you make it, because then they're like proud and they want to, show everyone. And when they're older, then they know how to make it, which is really great because if we don't teach them when they're little, they grow up and then you can feel lost, and you don't need to do that. I do want to mention there's some chats in the chat. Let's see.
Let's do the chat.
So Marley said, I love that community. And Chef Valerie Wilson, who I was talking to earlier today, she says hello to both of us. Video 1000 Nights says, how many meals a day does Karrie think is best for weight loss? And what about snacks?
Okay, so I think that's a really good question. I think, it's somewhat dependent on the person. I think it is really important to listen to your own body clock and focus on your nutrient needs. I recommend eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then and making those as nutrient dense as possible. So nutrient density, when I use that term, that's referring to foods that are lower in calorie but high in nutrients. So we think about nutrients referring to vitamins, minerals, fiber. So we want to pack as many nutrient-dense foods into every meal. And then in the interims, if you're hungry, you don't want to be hungry because that's usually an indication that you're not eating enough calories. Then you want to have a snack that's high in protein and high in fiber. Most Americans don't eat enough fiber. It's startling. It's over 90% of Americans are not getting enough fiber. So fiber-rich snacks, things like hummus and celery sticks or carrots, or my kids really love a soy yogurt and adding a little bit of a no oil, no sugar granola. Anything that's combining protein and fiber is a great choice.
Awesome. I love those ideas. And I know that there are so many people that are very confused about, the protein. It's protein, I have learned, is important. Me personally, because of my blood test, there was a time when I was low in protein. People say you'll never be low in protein. I was. And I was able to up it by just adding some beans, lentils, and I was good to go. So those are great suggestions. Let me see what else we have here. Apple a Day is here. She says hello to everyone. Hi. And Video 1000 Nights says, is breakfast important or is skipping breakfast fine?
So that's a great question. And I think, had you asked me that question about 10 years ago, the answer would have been that breakfast is important because it kickstarts your metabolism. Well, fast forward nowadays, and there's much more research coming out around intermittent fasting and how having the magic number is 12 hours, having a period of 12 hours between your last meal in the evening before you start your first meal the next day, and letting your blood sugar kind of reset and your metabolism reset, that seems to be beneficial. So I think it really comes down to the type of person you are. I am a morning person. I love breakfast. I think about it when I wake up in the morning. I think about it when I go to bed at night. So I do eat breakfast. I, start doing things in the morning. I get up and I have a cup of warm water that I like to drink and kind of do things in the kitchen before I get started, but I definitely eat breakfast. But I would really say if you're not hungry in the morning, don't force yourself to eat because you feel like you have to, but don't let yourself get so starving. So then if it comes to 11 o'clock and you're reaching for a candy bar, that's not good either. So there's really no one size fits all. And that is really what the area of nutrition is moving towards, showing us that everybody needs to listen to their self and to their body and figure out the best fit for them. But I do think there is a lot of give as to what that exactly looks like for any certain person.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you. Great question, great answer. I was thinking about like what could I compare it? What could I compare it to? Right?
Yeah.
Saying one size kind of doesn't fit all. You have to listen to your body, but it kind of reminds me of height. We're all a different height. And so we're all here, but I'm a shorter person, there are taller people. And so those will be different calorie needs that need to be met. And, I also think based on what it is you're trying to accomplish, weight loss, health, just growing kids, whatever it is, you might be doing things a little bit differently than someone else. But I love how you were saying, how things have evolved since, breakfast being the most important. And now it's really listening to what your body needs. And you shared some really good tips about you've waited too long if you're looking for a candy bar or something kind of thing, right? So that's really great. And then we have Marley says, congratulations to both of you on your first bundle contribution. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I just kind of want to just, talk a little bit about what you have in the bundle, because you have like some amazing looking recipes in there. I've got my eye on a few. There's like some chickpea blondies, or
those are a winner. I'm going to tell you, I think, we're always talking about protein and ways to boost protein. Chickpeas are something that are kind of overlooked that I personally don't love protein powders. I don't feed them to my kids because I just would rather get protein from other sources. And chickpeas are a great thing. You can throw them into smoothies and you can throw them into baked goods. And if it's blended, it doesn't really change the taste, especially like in a smoothie, for example, if you add something like mango with chickpeas, it's a great way to boost the nutrients and fiber without really altering the taste.
Mango with chickpeas. Wow.
In a smoothie? Yeah, it's so much better than putting a scoop of protein powder. You can just put a half a cup of chickpeas in there. Yes, not mango and chickpeas in like a baked good, I think.
Okay. I'm like, wow, I haven't tried that.
That would be a little too healthy.
So are there any favorite things that have stood out to you in the bundle besides, of course, your fantastic book, but I would love to let people know, because everybody seems to see and pick things out that maybe I haven't seen, or somebody that just got it might not have seen. What's your favorite so far?
I mean, there's so many different amazing things. I think probably my all-time favorite is Chef AJ's Walmart recipes, because I think, the two questions I get asked the most in nutrition and being a vegan myself is, one, protein, which I feel like we've kind of already covered, and two is cost, right? That it's so expensive. I can't eat healthy. And I think I hear you, because especially right now, groceries are so expensive, right? I shop once a week. I'm constantly trying to reduce waste, and I still feel like I am just spending so much money at the grocery store, right? So I think it's really important to look at tips and tricks and way to save. And I love that Chef AJ highlighted that you can go to Walmart, a place that is associated with affordability. And there are some great choices, right? I think we can get really caught up in only eating blueberries and kale, and those are really expensive, high-ticket items. But like dried beans, for example, like I always have dried beans in my pantry. They are super affordable and they are so nutritious. And I remember thinking, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to prepare dried beans, right? I mean, I used to go and teach food stamps classes, and before I had kids and before I was married, I used to tell women all the time, like, it's so easy, you can make a pot of beans in 2 minutes, and I had never made it, right? So I just kind of knew about it. And once I finally did it, honestly, it is really easy. Beans, especially nowadays with an Instant Pot, it can come together in minutes, and you control the sodium, you control the flavor, and you control the ingredients, right? And from one bag of beans, I can make beans for my family for a whole month, and we eat about 2 meals a week. And, I probably eat 3, my kiddos and my husband, maybe 2. So that's a lot of bang for your buck, right?
Definitely, definitely. And I actually save the broth and use it for
Yes.
soups and stews and other things. So you don't even have to have that go to waste. But oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you brought up Chef AJ's Walmart contribution, because just to share a little bit more about it, because I was looking at it too. So
Yes.
she has recipes in there, and every ingredient can be found at Walmart. So you decide what you want to buy, and you can go one place, get everything. It's, the cost is good, and then you can make everything in there. That was great. I haven't brought that one up, so glad. And let me just see. I'll read a couple comments here.
Sure.
Mona says, I just bought the fava bean tofu, and it's fabulous.
Yes. And
And she
chickpea
was
tofu is also delicious. If you see that, come across it, it's really good.
Yeah, I did try that one, but I can't. It's been a little bit, so I should buy that again. And then she also says she's excited for the bundle. And then we have Video 1000 Nights says, is there any health trade-off for not soaking the beans in the Instant Pot if you don't have digestion issues like lectins, etc.?
So I think the more and more I read about it, because this is something that really interests me, and I've read all the different things, baking soda versus vinegar, right? There's all seaweed, putting some kombu in there, different ways to deal with it. If you don't have digestion issues and you are buying dried beans that have a relatively quick turnaround. So now, like Walmart, for example, they may not have a quick turnaround for their beans. So probably they're going to be a little more dry. Safe, wonderful, but probably a little more dry. So you may want to soak beans from there. But if you're getting them from a bean vendor, right now I'm getting beans from Rancho Gordo, and I love it. They have a quick turnaround, and so I don't soak them anymore when I'm getting them from there. If I have like a chili mix that I got, that's a plant-based chili mix, and I'm gonna go ahead and soak those beans. So I think, again, go with your gut. If you are cooking beans in the Instant Pot and it's bothering your stomach, then try some of those changes. Definitely try soaking it. But if not, there doesn't appear to be any difference from the nutrition.
And that might be a deterrent for someone thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't soak them
Yes.
last night, whatever. So I know
Yep.
you have an Italian white bean salad that looks
Yes.
amazing. And also, not to go away from the beans, but you have a tempeh dish that
Yeah.
I wanted to make. I just ran out of time. I was hoping to get that one made.
Tempeh is such an interesting thing, because it's not something I grew up with, but I have found the trick is I just have like a glass Pyrex dish, and I will steam it either quickly in the microwave. I know not everybody loves to use microwaves, so you can certainly steam it on the stove. And then in that same pot or that same container, I'll just season it in that, and then I'll cook it. And that extra steaming step helps you increase the flavor of tempeh like immensely, and it really takes away some of that bitterness that can kind of be off-putting to some people.
Yeah, so let me just see. So do you cut it into this, do you do the whole, so tempeh comes in like a block, sort of a rectangular shape. Do you cut it up? Does it matter? And then how long do you steam it?
So I do. I cut it up either into strips or cubes. I usually cut it in half, and then we'll do strips, because otherwise the strips are so long they kind of fall apart, and that's just too much of a mess. But and then I just add like a half a cup of water, and sometimes I do it on the stove, but if I'm really in a rush, I'll just do it in the microwave, and I'll steam it for like in the microwave a minute and a half, and on the stove just until it comes to a boil and the water starts to evaporate. So yeah.
Okay. And then you remove it, and then you season it,
drain
and
whatever's
then
left of the water. And then sometimes I'll pat it dry, because then, you get rid of all that extra water, and then just season it. My favorite seasoning is a little tamari and maple syrup, and then some spices.
Nice. And do you ever use the air fryer?
All the time. I
Okay.
do. So I have, blanking on the brand of mine, but it's not really an air fryer. It's more like a toaster oven, but it has an air fry setting. And I love
like
it.
the Breville? Like the Breville,
It
or
is.
one of
It's
those?
the Breville.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And I love it. It was like an investment. I told my husband one year that's really what I wanted for Christmas, so I kind of tracked it and waited until it went like on ultimate sale, right? And got
Yeah.
it. But in the summer when it's hot in Northern California, I cook, all of our family meals and that. And then in the winter, if I want something, a little bit different, or like my 9-year-old has, very limited diet. And so, I can make something different in there. And so it's kind of nice. Then I have access to a bunch of, I can use the oven, I can use the stove. I've got that as well. So
Yeah. Okay, great. I'm going to share a few more things in the chat, and then I wanted to ask you a question. So let me see. Okay, so Marley says it's so true. So easy to throw dry beans or lentils in the Instant Pot, and then it's done really quickly. Yes, absolutely. And then Video 1000 Night says, thank you so much. I've been wondering the real answer. So, and then Marley says, fava bean tofu. Interesting. Yes, you got to try it. And then she also says, does the baking soda really help for the beans to help digest them? And then also, I'm just getting into tempeh now. I steam it like it's recommended. So the question is, yeah.
it does. It's supposed to help eliminate some of the lectins, which can cause some of the discomfort. I will say I have had success with that. I also have had success with white vinegar. We did try the kombu, which is, like I said, it's a seaweed that you can throw into there as well. That, to me, changed the flavor slightly. So we didn't have as much success with that. But just either vinegar or baking soda, you soak it and then you just rinse them again. And I really think it's the soaking and the rinsing. And then the baking soda does help remove a little bit more. Yeah.
And if someone's not familiar, how much baking soda to like a pound of beans or whatever?
To a pound, like a tablespoon.
So tiny bit.
Usually I'll do like a mason jar. So I just use a teaspoon. We're not talking big amounts, just enough to, and I mean, honestly, it's really important if you're dealing with dried beans to rinse and sort them, because nowadays the technology is better. So you don't get stones very often, but you could, and that would be miserable. So just rinse and drain them, pour them. I put them in a mason jar. And so I just I'll do it in the morning every morning I wash produce for my family. And so when I'm doing that, I'll just rinse off some beans, throw them in a mason jar, and then fill it up with water and add, a teaspoon of baking soda. So if it's bigger, then I would double that. But
okay, that's great. Yeah. So I was kind of curious. I know you shared your story, but so you don't personally have any health issues that drew you into this. It's more kind of, from what I'm understanding, just the way you felt when you were on the team, and you're, just kind of stumbling across it that way. Is that correct?
yeah, knock on wood, but yes, no, it's just kind of been, health has been something I've just always been interested in. And I just, health prevention, right? I just feel like what a gift that is, that we can give to ourselves and give to our family members or our children, to eat more produce, to take a measure before we get to that stage, right? And, it's never too late. So if you do have a chronic illness or a complication, absolutely, you're going to benefit as well. But the sooner you start on things like that, the greater impact that you'll see.
Yeah. And so just curious, like extended family, your parents or your in-laws, any cousins, any relatives that, were concerned about you raising your kids the way you are, or anything like that? Or are they looking and like, oh, maybe I could use this to help improve whatever I'm going through? Just curious, like.
Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit of both. We eat a lot of plants, right? We eat a lot of fresh fruits. We eat a lot of vegetables. What I serve at home is healthy, plant-based, nutrient-dense food. When we're out in public, my kids get to choose what they want to eat. If they're with me, of course, I'll have some say in it, but I don't limit them when they're outside. I really think that's important, that they have say in what they eat. And it's the same for my husband. When he's home, he eats what I serve, but then when he's out, right, he, still likes a hamburger, and so he is free to go eat that. So I just, like anything, we're just doing the best we can. I eat vegan.
Absolutely.
I eat whole food, plant-based, but I am not here to villainize anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just here to try and encourage people to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, and I really think that way everybody wins, right? It's not only better for our health, better for our family's health, better for the environment, better for sustainability. I mean, there's just so many benefits to it.
I'm so glad that you brought that up and shared that. because I think that's really important. Just because we're part of the bundle and we're, trying to convey things that we know that are beneficial, it doesn't mean that is like, we're human still, right? So
Yes.
my husband is the same way, right? And so we make it work, and our household is, there's non-compliant food in our house. But I think the most important thing, and I say this all the time, is having awareness, being aware so
Yes.
you can make the best decision for what works for you. Is like,
Yes.
because if you don't know, that's when I get angry or I get upset. Like, let this person know, and then they can decide.
Yes.
So Bernadette Shute says, I think both of you come across with such sweet personalities. Really enjoyed seeing the two of you together. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
this is
you.
fun.
It's very kind.
And then Marley says, thank you for answering. And so, yeah. So are there any other questions or anything that you would like to bring up? Any topics or anything that we haven't covered yet?
No,
No?
I feel like this is your community, but I'd love to hear more about you and your work, what you got you interested in the Vegan Health Bundle.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to share. So I have two contributions. One is my cookbook, Give Plants a Chance.
I love it.
And I'm really proud of it. It's my first cookbook. So that was really
Mine
fun.
too. That's so fun.
Oh, really? We have so much
Yes.
in common.
Yes, we do.
High five. Yeah. And I'm also a certified plant-based nutrition coach. And so I have a master series class in there with some other coaches. And we have videos of some topics that we discuss together and give ideas and suggestions of general things that come up sometimes for people. And then, of course, if somebody wants more one-on-one, they can reach out with any of us that resonates with them and see about doing some private stuff. But I've had a health journey, and I'll just touch on it a little bit. I'm vaccine injured, so I was bedridden for 14 months, and I've had terrible chronic sinusitis issues, where I've had 3 sinus surgeries, and they found a tumor in my pituitary, and I've had brain surgery, and I've had tumors all over on my ovaries. They said I couldn't have kids, and my breasts, and just, it's been like my entire life.
Yeah.
And now, I stumbled upon the food. I was trying to lower my cholesterol through Dr. Esselstyn's program.
Yes.
And realized that not only did I lower my cholesterol in 3 weeks, 50 points, I also, over a period of time, lost just under 40 pounds when I wasn't trying to do that. But most importantly, I could get out of bed and I could move. And the inflammation over a long period of time just kept getting less and less and less. I got off all my
Yes.
medications except for one. I'm on a thyroid medication because I have autoimmune, but it's been lowered. And I've done water fasting, and it's just like, oh my gosh, we need to get this message out. And so ever since I realized what major changes real whole food can do and has done for me personally, I'm just drawn to share, to reach. I was in a very miserable place when I was bedridden. I wanted to escape my body. I had sensations 24/7, and it was awful. And I have this special spot. I want to, reach people in general, but I want to reach that person alone in that room like I was, and just say, like, try something radical like fruits and vegetables and just see.
Right.
So that's kind of a quick synopsis,
Thank you
and
for sharing that. That's so inspiring. I think it gives us hope, right? Because I think in today's day and age, it's so scary. Cancer rates are higher than they have ever been. There are just, in people under 50, cancer rates are growing. It just, it's a scary time, but eating nutritious food most of the time is one of the easiest and most affordable ways that you can take control and have some say in that battle, right? You don't have to feel
Yes.
like you're completely a victim. And like you said, I mean, this is absolutely, eating whole foods is not a guarantee that you will never get sick, but it
Right.
is the best defense that you can
Yes.
give yourself against that. So why
Yes.
not arm yourself as well as you can?
Yes. And before I read the chat, I just want to say
Yes.
that I haven't been sick in a few years. It doesn't mean I wouldn't get sick, but the very first cold I had, once I changed everything, when I would get sick, it would last and linger for months and months and
Of
months.
course.
And it was like 2 days. And I said, I think I just had like a regular cold. Like, is this what a regular cold feels like? It's only a few. And I was like so proud to say I had a regular cold.
Yes. I mean, right. When you're battling some chronic illnesses like that. Yeah. I think that, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, let me look in the chat here. So Marley says, thank you for sharing, Karrie. I also have been passionate about eating healthy for prevention, been surrounded over time with several sick loved ones.
I'm sorry. That's hard.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for sharing that, Marley. And
Yes.
Bernadette says, so great to get your kids involved in picking out what looks good to them. Yes, because saying eat this because it's good for you doesn't always work, right?
Yes. It's so true.
And then we have, Marley was just talking that she wasn't crazy for the first. They were talking about, whoops, the chat just went somewhere. Oh, there it was. So they're just talking about different things regarding the different tempehs and
Yes.
flavors. And so here's a question: how do you test for low protein?
So you can't test for low protein per se, but you can test for some of the vitamins and minerals that are in protein. And you can also see how you feel, right? If you're sluggish, if you have bloating, things like that, they can be an indication of low protein, and you can try eating more. I think the best place to start is, of course, always having a conversation with your healthcare provider. Start there. And then you can also, if you want to do something immediately before you can get into your healthcare provider, just start making a conscious effort to have a source of protein at every meal, right? So in the morning, I drink soy milk, and I have a almond milk yogurt. For lunch, I always have beans or tempeh or tofu or nuts or seeds. I try and get 2 sources of protein-rich foods. Yesterday, for some reason, I just really wanted avocado dipped in hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are really a good source of protein. And then for dinner, I do the same thing. And I know personally I'm getting plenty of protein. So that's kind of a great start. And then talk with your healthcare provider. And then you can always meet with a dietitian, and they will have you fill out a food record. And so they can actually look over 3 days and kind of help you compute that. So there's lots of different ways, but it's not necessarily a blood test where you would just be able to say, oh, you are not getting enough protein.
Yeah, and I had mentioned that I had one because the BUN, that was what was
Yes.
showing that they said that was how I was told. And
Yes. So there's different markers that you could,
yeah,
Yep.
so I don't know anything more than that, but that's what they told me. And then they told me for my, everybody's going to have their own thing. But for me, it was do at least a half a cup a day of some kind of bean, lentil, or legume. And when I upped it, it was like a no-brainer. I also want to say hello to Gorkorpsy. I always mess up that name. So anyhow, it's good to have you here. Thank you so much. And I have one last question for you before we just talk and wrap up with the bundle is, do you ever find that people have issues with low iron? Because I have dealt with that eating this way. And I'm wondering if you could mention or share anything that would be good for that.
Yeah, so one of the really good tips that I have about iron is iron is absorbed best with vitamin C rich foods. So for example, that smoothie that you have right there that's combining mango and greens, that's the best way to kind of increase your absorption of iron. And you don't want to eat iron-rich foods with calcium-rich foods. So if you are taking a calcium supplement, try not to take it at the same time as you're having your iron, Or if you're having like plant milk that's fortified with calcium, you don't want to have that at the same time as you're having your iron-rich foods. And then also varying your source of iron. So lentils, greens, the more variety you can get, the more likely you are to absorb as much as you can. And then some people are just gonna still lack an iron, and that's okay. That's where supplements come in, right? And that's where you can get tested and determine if your iron levels are low. And if they are, then a supplement is warranted, because you don't want to be deficient in iron. That definitely can cause a lot of trouble.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. And I did want to say Scorpy. That's the way you say it. And I wanted to welcome you correctly. And so Marley says, thank you, Karrie and Jennifer. And so, yeah, just wrapping it up. This has been really fun. I just want to say that, the bundle is the reason that we got brought together. We both contributed to it. There's so many things, over 83 contributions have been, last time I checked, in the bundle. It's, thousands of dollars if you were to purchase each thing individually, but between now and March 10th, you can purchase it, download it for $49. It's a great deal. And as long as you download it, I think you have a year, but I wouldn't wait a year to download it. You can have it indefinitely. And it's just full of so much wealth of information. I mean, here we are just talking about one piece, right? What you've done and what I've done a little bit. And think of all the other components in the bundle and all the information and wealth of information that you could get. So feel free to purchase it. Don't sit on the fence. You can go to Karrie's bio and her website and pages to get it. She's on Instagram at Family Meals First. And you can also get it in my bio. Anywhere else you just want to remind people that they can find you or get the bundle?
Nope, that's Instagram and my website, Family Meals First. Thank you so much, Jennifer. It was great meeting with you today, and I love learning from you as well. So thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone. And I'm just going to say, don't forget to eat your greens, and gosh darn it, give plants a chance. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much.